What is up, guys, and welcome back to Late to the Party. This is where we take a look at movies that are over 10 years old through the eyes of a bunch of nerds. No discrimination, because age is nothing but a number, ladies and gentlemen. This week we had the honor, the pleasure, the amazing experience, to watch 1987's classic Predator. I didn't look up all of the names that are in there, but I know Shane Black's in there, Jesse Ventura, a bunch of other guys. Nobody else really notable. Except that one dude. That ran for governor that one time.
Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers, yeah, that guy was in there too. Hey, Apollo Creed was in there.
There was two actual governors in there.
Yeah.
Wasn't Jesse Ventura also?
No.
Oh, and what's how do you pronounce his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. That guy. He was pretty cool in it. This was one of those movies that, over the course of us doing this, we always try to find some kind of hidden meaning or what were they trying to tell us through this story. And it was so it was awesome to just lay back and watch an action movie kick butt from the beginning to the middle to the end. It was so much fun. I just want to ask all you guys, at what point, obviously everybody watched this movie. Like, how old were you guys when you first watched this? Isaac?
Probably like 7.
Lego?
Yeah, probably about that age.
Nate?
12.
And what about the skull?
Oh my god. This is so weird.
Well,
The table.
I saw it in theater.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Dang.
I saw it when I was 14 or 15.
Dang. Okay. So we all saw it relatively young. My question to you guys is, at any time when you were first watching it, did you ever imagine that this was going to be like a classic, that this was going to be just something that, I can't wait to show my kids this movie. I can't wait to show everybody that I know this movie. At any time, did you guys have that feeling?
No. I wasn't thinking about kids at 12. No, I just went in, thought it was really great because it was one of the first few R-rated movies I got to see.
Did none of you guys have the feeling that this was going to be like legendary?
Well, I knew Arnold's legendary, and this is in his this is Arnold's Rushmore. We'll put it that way. It's in Arnold's Rushmore. And I remember just going out. We used to play we had popsicle sticks, and we painted them to make them look like guns and knives and whatnot. And I remember just going and sticking my cousin and my brother with the popsicle stick, saying, "Stick around, stick around, stick around," like constantly. So just based on the sheer amount of times I told my family members to stick around, I knew the movie would have some staying force with me, that it would stick around.
I don't know that I thought that it was all that epic when I first saw it. I mean, certainly as a kid watching everything explode and Arnold, beating the little crap out of an alien, all of that is cool. But it's one of those things that I think over time, you started to get this perspective that everybody that you knew held that movie with a high amount of respect and honor. I just don't know anybody that doesn't like it.
That's actually really true. I don't know. I was thinking back when I was watching it again and just remembering, I'm like, I can't even tell you how old I was. I just remember always knowing that I had watched this movie. This was one of those that I wasn't late to. May have come out in 1987. I was born in 1988, but I feel like I'd always I knew about this movie from a really young age. And I think it was one of those very, very few that we had on VHS tape. This one, and then Predator 2. So yeah, it was weird. We had the little race car VHS rewinder. It was and I remember having this right there in display. So I've always really liked this movie. I mean, God, and there's so much to unpack. But favorite one-liners, just go say them.
I think we know what Nate's is. I want to know what Josh is.
You know what? I'm going to say the one that's going to make everybody's hair stand on end, but it's the one when Blaine is in the chopper and he's offering the chew to everybody. He's like, I'm surrounded by a bunch of slack-jawed faggots. You chew on some of this, it'll turn you into a sexual tyrannosaurus like me.
There it is.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Glory.
All right.
My favorite's get to the chopper! Get to the chopper! How many times does he say it? Should have counted.
Lego, come on, I want to hear yours.
Man, get to the chopper was mine too. That's so good. How can you top it?
I actually like the whole, it's like, come on, do it. Come on, do it now.
I'm right here.
I'm right here. Come on, kill me.
Kill me, asshole.
I thought Josh's was going to be the roar.
That's a close second.
Right. But yeah, being that this movie is just one of those that I don't know, I've never really been able to dig deep into it. It's just always been a lot of fun. Thinking back, I think to me this was always like an original concept. Unless I'm wrong, like was there ever a concept other than Alien, but like where a very intelligent, alien is chasing you or hunting everybody down? Like strategically, I don't recall, or I tried Googling like other hunter alien movies and I couldn't really come up with any prior to 1987.
He was a hunter, but like the cool thing about it was, the chick that was in the movie, he never went after her or for a long time didn't go after her because she was never armed. So, and then, in spoiler alert, in Predator 2, he let the one woman go because she was pregnant. So these things aren't just to come in here to have a party and kill everybody. There's a sport to what they're doing. And if the movies are any indication, mankind is a very crafty prey to come after. So they have their handfuls when they come after people, for sure.
Yeah, I think growing up, I always enjoyed the concept that they would tell legends about him. They would say like, oh, they say the forest comes to life when it's really hot. So there was always that idea. I'm like, I kind of always figured, I'm like, there's got to be a lot more to this. Like, I think that's why it always made me, it was, like I said, really one of those first movies where I really thought beyond what I was just being presented with. Obviously, I knew there was a Predator 2, but just the idea that there's some code of honor. Like that's what impressed me the most, that they were careful to include that, because he even, I think they figure out it only attacks if you're armed. And then when the girl tries to help him out and he kicks the machine gun out of her hands to make sure that she's safe, I was always like, man, that's very creative. That's thinking outside the box and giving yourself some room to grow this franchise. But let's just get into our basics. Isaac, favorite scene?
When I forgot the name of the really dark dude.
Mac,
when he's looking up and the dots come up and just blow his head off. And then
he puts his face into the dots.
Yeah. And then his head's not blown off. It's still there when Carl Weathers sees him. His head's there. It's like, didn't it just blow up?
Well, you see his skull later on, and it's got that big hole like in the top part. So, when he was like leaning back, his face is intact, and he's just like staring like off, into death, and Carl Weathers happens to meet his eyes. It's actually kind of a creepy scene. I remember being creeped out by that as a kid. I'm like, why is the dead guy looking at him?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Nate, favorite scene, baby?
Favorite scene is when he's in the tree. The Predator's in the trees. He had just got Sonny Lindum, and he reaches into his lower back, and just whiplashes like a towel whip, pulls out his spine and I rewound that scene like 17 times because me and my mom got into an argument because she said that he reached into his leg and pulled and disconnected the top of his leg from his hip. And I was like, no, Mom, look, you can see it whip the spine out. She's like, that's his foot. And I had to rewind it over and over again. I went to Save-Ons at the time. This is how dated it is. I went to Save-Ons and I bought her some thick ass glasses so she could see. She never capitulated. She never admitted that I had won the argument until I want to say like maybe 2008 when Google was around. I went back like years later, and I was like, look, you're wrong and I'm right. You're not always right just because you're mom. And she was so mad that I had held that in for 20 years just about some stupid predator leg argument. So my favorite scene because I won.
Epic grudge, man.
Man, that's beautiful, man. Was it a leg or a spine? I'm gonna tell that story, man. Knew a guy who held in a grudge for 20 years over Predator.
It's part of my thing, learning how to take the L.
Oh man. Lego, favorite scene, man.
Fuck, dude. I love right when the Predator bleeds and they all just unload all their guns and like just firing into the jungle, going crazy, just turning the whole jungle into just nothing but smoke and ash. And magically that leaf is still preserved with the blood on it and it's clean and there's no dirt. And the entire basis of being able to go after the Predator was based on that leaf, and that just ruined the movie for me, quite honestly.
Oh man, Scott's, let's go. Favorite scene.
I like the chopper scene when they're all flying, like getting ready to go land and stuff. You get an idea of who all of the characters are in a very short amount of time. Like, you know, it just, and it dovetails with probably my favorite line is when Blaine spits his tobacco on Carl Weathers' shoe and he just leans forward. You got a real nasty habit. So I like that whole chopper because like you get to know who these guys are and who they are to each other, and it fits well. And if you didn't see that opening shot of the alien ship coming in, you would have thought this was a military movie of some kind, some war movie.
Yeah.
And it's too bad they did that. If they would have just let it go and then move into showing the alien, that would have been better. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Man, this movie is full of so many fantastic scenes. But, you know, in terms of pure adrenaline, there's nothing as thrilling as Jesse Ventura getting out Old Painless and going to town with a minigun. It's the first time you really see somebody like carrying one of those things like on his back, and he just like hoses down that village full of the gorillas and everything like that. It's unreal. So definitely that stuff.
I'm disappointed. This movie had the greatest handshake of all time.
I was expecting Josh to say that was his favorite scene. That's why I didn't pick it.
No, you know, I'm gonna be honest that probably my runner-up for second favorite scene is the very end during the end sequence when it's like going back over all the characters in the movie and one guy's like winking and like Carl Weathers gets thrown the gun and like looks, you know. It's perfect 80s stuff. It's so good. I loved it.
All these guys have been decapitated, but here's the before pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, the face mask removal, that was awesome. The whole "you are one ugly motherfucker." That was also, man. It's like you said. I love all of this. Oh wait, that one was Predator 2. I'm confusing them now. But the whole, yeah, you are one ugly mother. That. Is there anything that you guys thought that this movie was missing, or was there something that just impressed you? Like just looking back at it now, just like saying, you know what, that was actually really freaking cool, or I like this, and I think this has stood the test of time. Was there anything that stuck out to you guys? Like, for example, like for me, obviously it was the technology of the time, but I love the film that was used. It has that sort of, like Liz said, you have the feel of a military movie. And I've watched the remastered ones, you know, they do the whole HD ones, but I still like those old school feel because it does look like an old school war movie.
Yeah.
It just happens to have an alien hunting everybody down. I love that aesthetic of it, and I think today that still holds up because it's like watching an old timey. But was there anything that you guys that stood out that you were like, wow, that's actually pretty cool, I enjoyed that, or that's cool, that stood the test of time?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the man responsible for the soundtrack is Alan Silvestri, the same guy that did half of the MCU movies. You're getting like an early, I was thinking to myself, what was he, 5 when he put the soundtrack together for this movie? But yeah, he was involved in it, and it's it's like not really complex, and it's it's got like this upbeat, like kind of military thing going on until like the Predator shows up, but it's all very the music like comes in all at the right points in the film and like kind of gets you built up. It's just an adrenaline ride. I love it.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I did notice that, and thank you for bringing it up because I had forgotten. Go ahead, Lego. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I did notice that a couple times. I was like, oh, this sounds like superhero music, and now I know why. So.
Well, come on, when Arnold grabs that truck, and like lifts it up and like pushes it down, it's it's wonderful.
The testosterone is very thick in the Scott household right now.
Every scene's like, yeah. And then, Liz was complaining at the end of the movie about that kind of like cheesy, like, everybody's like headshots at the end of there. And I said, listen, you can either have that America or you can have the America that's happening outside our front door right now. You pick. Guess which one she picked?
Right now.
Living in
right now. Yeah, I don't know if it was a coincidence that I watched this movie and I was thinking about it today as I was lifting. I've never lifted heavier than I have in the last few months, so I don't know if that was a coincidence or not. Testosterone was just pumping. I was just thinking of that handshake. I was thinking of Arnold with the mud all over him with that torch in his hand. The very it was great. Good stuff. All right. Bucket time, ladies and gentlemen. Scott, let's start it off with you. Where are your buckets at?
My buckets are at 9. This is a great action-packed, fun movie. Great characters, holds up. Story's good. It's very simple and basic, so you don't have to go too bad with, not so much nuance with it. But it doesn't get a 10 just because of that credit scene at the end. Yeah.
All right.
That's I was watching this kick-ass adrenaline movie, and then I watched the credits, and then I feel like I'm watching an episode of Full House. And no, I can't do that. Especially when they're like looking at the camera and winking and giving you the cheers with the and the gun getting thrown. And he's like, yeah. No, that was just a little too much.
I mean, that's how we sign off, Liz. So I don't know.
That's right.
That's right. Josh, where are you at, baby?
No, that scene, of course, is the capstone on it. That definitely makes this movie a 10. I mean, you can't deny you can't deny the
same thing that takes it makes it. I love it.
That's right. You can't deny the forward influence that this movie has had, not just in the franchise itself, but all over the place. Arnold's career was already like in full steam by this point, but this kind of stuff really solidified him as the action hero of our generation. So definitely a 10.
All right. Nate, where you at?
Man.
We got 2 10s so far.
In the word of Lego, this one gets a flying Phoenix 10 from the ashes.
It gets a Wu-Tang 10.
It gets a Wu-Tang. It's stick around, man. And it's stuck around. How many Predator movies are there?
A bunch.
Right? And they're all not as good as this one. So
That's
but
right.
they all still have that recipe. I remember my mom when I was going back through this argument with my mom about this, she like eventually forbade me to watch the movie because she had a nightmare where the Predator was stalking her in the house and he was hiding in some vertical blinds and you know how his camouflage in the blinds to where like she would go through the house and anytime she would come home she'd have to open the blinds because she would be freaked out that there'd be a Predator. Just so much personal context for this movie.
Man,
Like
it was really
stuck
stuck
around.
with his mom.
The joke's on her.
And then you hold a grudge against her too.
I don't hold a grudge. I won. The grudge has been done since 2000.
You want to know a quote of the year right there is that, and that's I think Nate and Josh share a brain because that's the same thing he would say too. I don't hold grudges because I win.
Oh man, Isaac, where are you at, man?
Gotta be a 10 as well. All that action, all that adventure. Like you say, it starts off like a war movie, and you're like, oh, mercenaries are gonna go help out, they're gonna save their crew, and then it flips the script on you and it becomes a sci-fi. And what better person to hold that but Arnold? Awesome movie all the way around. Brilliant. And then Shane Black comes back to direct one.
Yeah, he did. The most recent one he directed.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was cool. Lego.
Well, this movie glorifies violence. The sets are fucking dog shit. Arnold gets cucked by the government into going in and killing a bunch of fucking innocent people. The fucking CGI, who the fuck was in charge of that? You would have been better off just fucking filming the jungle and saying something was there. My God, that looked fucking awful.
What about when he's looking at them with his Predator view?
With his Predator, oh yeah, that's cool, man. That's cutting edge shit.
How are you gonna? That is one inconsistency. How are you gonna have that kind of vision and then make a spaceship?
I don't fucking know.
They have different filters.
And his fucking rubbery, stupid hands. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. I did something. Look at me do the tech. Come on, dude. Let's fucking. It's still a good movie. It's still, obviously, you could argue at 10 just off the legacy alone. I don't know, man. Going back, this was not what I remembered. I give it an 8.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep the perfect 10 going.
The script.
All right, who are you and what have you done with Lego?
Yeah. And we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back once we find a real Lego. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with Lego on that one. This movie's a perfect 10. Legacy-wise, it still holds up in my opinion. Has there been better graphics? Yes, but for what 1987 was, I love it. I'm always gonna love it. So, sorry, dudes. We're gonna not count that 8, and we're gonna have a perfect 10 all around. Yeah.
You know what? You changed my mind. You changed my mind, guys. It's not an 8. You're right. It's a 6.
Oh!
Because I forgot to
Keep
mention all the piss poor acting.
The piss poor acting. Oh man.
2 more points deducted.
Come on, you didn't laugh out loud at Hawkins' jokes. Come
I
on.
actually did not, surprisingly. I think I let out
Oh.
more of a, ugh.
All right. Well, since you didn't appreciate this one, I'm going to hand it over to Josh, and he's going to make you suffer. So, Josh, going back to our old tradition,
Get away from the wheel.
we're going to get away from the wheel of misfortune for a little bit. And I'm going to hand the reins over to you, buddy. Take it away.
Thank you. So, because I'm a creature of habit, I'm still going to go with the method that I was using before the wheel of misfortune came along. And so I'm going to give you 2 categories, and I'll let you pick, and then I'll unveil the movies according to the category. But the first category is underrated Disney films. And the second category is always bet on black.
Well, I'll throw in for Disney.
All right.
I have Disney Plus, so I hope I don't have to search for anything. So I'll go for Disney. And god dang it, Josh, if you pick something we have to look for that isn't on Disney Plus, I'm going to scream louder than Arnold did. I'll go Disney. You better hurry up and vote, Isaac.
I'm gonna say that my choice matters, and I'm gonna always bet on black.
All right.
I'll go with Disney to go against you. Because that means you lose.
That means you lose.
I say good day to you, sir. You lose. You get nothing.
No, and I'm curious to see what are Josh's underrated Disney movies. Who would have thought that I'd be saying that in the
Nate's mom
Yeah.
just owed Isaac some money for that one. Okay, so here we go. Underrated Disney films. So 1986, The Flight of the Navigator. 1991, The Rocketeer.
Rocketeer.
And 1993's Three Musketeers.
I want to watch the Rocketeer. I've never watched it. I've heard amazing things about it.
All right, we got 2 for The Rocketeer.
Go ahead, Nate.
I'm gonna do the Three Musketeers.
All right. So we got 2 for Rocketeer, 1 for Three Musketeers. Lego, what do you got?
Dude, a young
I guess I'm gonna have to go with the Rocketeer, dude.
Or Liz, they didn't even get a vote in either wise.
He doesn't like to vote on
You
movies.
know, it's on all those lists, and I like all of those movies, so it's
Okay. Josh, please tell me the Rocketeer is on Disney Plus.
I do believe it's on Disney Plus, yeah.
All right, cool.
And even if it's not, I own it, so F it and find it yourself.
All right. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Rocketeer. Please join us next week when Josh takes the reins and he does an amazing job hosting. For Late to the Party, I'm Jose.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Jason.
Nate.
Liz?
Josh.
Dumb is what you are.
And we're out.